Hi everyone, welcome to our discussion of podcast where we are going to get to know our local leader and learn up through them. So today I have a pleasure to talk to Manish Mittal. He has an impressive journey of 25 years at Microsoft, growing through the ladder, working on different products, really changing the company trajectory through the projects he is working. And now he has recently joined as an SVP at Visa, where he is working through value-added services. So welcome Manish. Thank you for
Hey,
the time and really taking time to talk to us.
thank you, Ekta. Thank you for inviting me. I'm really excited to have this conversation. I know you and I have had several conversations over the years, so really looking forward to sharing some part of my journey and also have this conversation with you.
Awesome. Thank you. So the first thing I know I did not do justice to your journey and really brief introduction. So can you talk a little bit about yourself?
Um, yeah, great question, Ekta. Um, did you know that 25 years back I actually worked at Visa? So in fact, when
No
I started
way.
my career, I was working at Infosys, and one of the first project that we had to do was in Visa and in Foster City and San Mateo. So as I and then I got a job at Microsoft, applying from there, joined Microsoft because of the experience that I had with Visa. And then 25 years later, here I am again.
Life
And
goes full circle.
yeah, and I was when I was doing my first town hall at Visa 2 months back, I shared that picture from Visa, and so it was really interesting because not many people know about it, or knew about it, or even many of my friends don't know about it. So I joined recently at Visa. I'm running the global technology team for value-added services. This is one of the three big pillars of business for Visa, which is essentially building capabilities, solution services, all the way from merchants with the payment gateway to acquiring bank to issuing bank, loyalty benefits program. And the biggest capability that we work on is in the payment space. There's so much fraud happening. So
Yeah.
how can we detect the fraud and protect the consumer, protect the merchant, protect the bank, and provided those value-added services as part of it. It's been a very exciting journey in this last 3 months. I've got a chance to travel the world, meet the team, which again I draw a lot of energy from. And I recently came back from Singapore and India. And the amount of innovation that's happening in this space in payment. Payment is a very local thing. Every country has their
In fact, everyone.
innovation. Yes, and it's just tremendous amount of innovation happening. And so meeting clients, meeting partners, and all of them in some ways are integrated with Visa. So that's been exciting. Prior to that, I was at Microsoft and worked on all kinds of product from identity to commerce platform. Bing is where I spent a lot of time, and then most recently, last 3 years, was in shopping, building a lot of capabilities, Skype and mobile app, and then the last year of whole Copilot journey has been tremendous. In fact, I've been using this recent app launched by Microsoft Copilot, and I just love it. And it's been a fantastic journey working with Microsoft, and also this whole Copilot journey that the company has
You
been
got
on.
the first front seat. I'm
Yes, yes,
jealous.
absolutely, absolutely. Now everybody can build that Copilot, and I think it's becoming a commodity, and it's actually a great capability that is available to everyone.
So I think through this journey, and you have I know you shared a bit, and I know your journey, we have been in touch for a long time. Business is growing, business is changing, pivoting, and all that. So, what has been the most defining part for your journey, whether it's the product or it's an experience which you feel like changed your either trajectory or thought process, or impacted you or influenced you?
Yeah, as I reflect back on my, 28, 29 years of career, I can actually pinpoint to three or four such moments where I felt like, there was a inflection point, there was some kind of transformation, and I felt and that provided me a lot of learnings. And the first came, back in 2008, when we had acquired this company called Jellyfish, and we launched cashback on as part of Bing and shopping platform, and it was really a great CPA model, cost per acquisition, and so we felt like it was a very disruptive model from the advertising, where you're essentially taking the money from the advertiser and passing it to the user. So in net, it was a great affiliate kind of model that actually they see the real benefits from the advertising dollars. And then when we launched that, we had Thanksgiving, Black Friday come in, and our marketing team did a promotion of 40% off on HP. And imagine you getting a $3,000, $2,000 off on a $5,000 computer. So we got a huge amount of traffic. And then because of this acquisition, the way the platform was, the scale was, we got bottlenecked, and we hadn't done the due diligence. There were processes running. And so it was really a tough moment where we were coming in the way for people saving dollars, and we just got so many escalations and so many. I mean, that time social media was not that big, so we didn't see all these tweets and articles all over the place. But we had to be there in a room, like, where for 3 days to come out of that. And I felt terrible being part of it. But then later on, as the subsequent week happened, I felt that the biggest learning throughout that journey was tremendous. So I felt that this adverse situation that come in where you feel uneasy and you feel that you want to run away from, that's where you get the most amount of learning. So that was one such great moment. The second one was really around it was more on the processes and productivity, where the way we were structured, we had this developer, test, and operations. And we were really, we were really trying to drive this DevOps mindset, where we wanted developer to do the majority of the work. They were like earlier, they were just throwing the code of the wall, test would test, and then operations would deploy. And we wanted to move to a model which was more DevOps. In fact, even today, Bing observes that, where the developers are really testing. They are the ones who are deploying the code, monitoring the code. And what happens is, for that, you need to do significant investment. And at that time, we were all resisting that investment. We were all feeling like, hey, you can't do that. You need the test team to do the testing. You need the operations to deploy that. And over time, by significant investment, both in terms of hardware, technology, we were able to create components to drive such a way that the testing becomes part of the DNA, the operations become part of the DNA. And that has really driven the kind of agility that is very tough to see in many companies and many organizations, even within Microsoft. So, and that's the mindset that was a great learning, and I feel something that we can proudly talk about that now. But during that time, it was such a hard problem.
Change management. Change is hard, right? Like, and you have to probably deal with like people emotions also, right? It's not just the tech, but driving the organization through that change.
Yeah. And then the last one I would say is, when I took this shopping role in Microsoft before, 3 years into that, there was this shopping was really about Bing shopping. And there was only a set of people that will come search and shop, but there was nothing that was differentiating there. And I, along with my LT, started to look at what's out there, and we looked at several startups which were there, which were helping save money through the browser extension, or even in the mobile space, in the grocery, they were with the receipt scan, and you're able to save money, and driving a lot of shopping journey. And there were some products that we built. We started with the prototype to really see that can we get this first few customers that love that, and we can save money as part of Edge browser. I really like this Brian Chesky's quote where they say, hey, you have to first get your first 10 or 100 customers, and once you find that, it's very easy to scale and find the next million. And so we essentially built that capability in Edge with certain merchants where we were saving money, real money, and 500 merchants to start with, and then organically started to grow, and then we got more merchants interested, and then we started to get a lot more coupons directly from the merchants as well as from the third-party aggregators.
The flywheel just kicked off, right?
Exactly, and then it's been part of our investor call that Amy included, but something over the years we have saved over $5 to $6 billion every year, and I think that's been very fulfilling journey.
And the value to the users, right? It's the value directly to the user.
Absolutely, and coming from India, I'm always about bargaining and finding, I never want to buy something which is not discounted, and so it was really close to my heart, and I feel like, anytime you save money for users, and you always get this email, hey, I saved $20, and I wasn't expecting that, and that's really a lot of delight. And the biggest learning there was, when you look at these startups, when you look at these capabilities out there, it's just a fast mover advantage. And if we are getting the traffic, if you find the value for the users will come, and you just need to make sure that you go that extra mile to make that convenient and easy. And that is something was very fulfilling.
Yeah, thanks. I think first one, you save the money for company, and in this case, save the user. It's really empowering to see on both sides and be part of that journey.
Yes, yes.
So now I think the last question I have for you, like you had the front row seat in the AI change when this happening. And most of our audiences are product owners in one shape or form. So from your perspective, how do you see AI is going to change the product lifecycle, product development lifecycle? Not the user behavior or anything, but what do you see, like how is it going to impact, and is there anything that you have learned or your own opinions on that?
Great question. And we are actually seeing this. I mean, as part of Microsoft, as we were launching all these Copilot, and if you think about the Office products, the Copilot chat, the GitHub, and it's essentially coming as part of every product. In fact, even in shopping, we have like if you're looking for gift, how the set of questions to ask, and so the Copilot is coming as part of every product. And even coming outside Microsoft and Visa, what I see is obviously like, throughout your software development journey, where when you're basically using Agile and you're using your set of tools, whether using Jira Line or Azure DevOps, you have to write epics, you have to write initiatives. And many times those initiatives are not very well written. They're not very well defined. And even the specs that are there, the dependency that are there, the ROI that you have to calculate for any feature, that there are a set of tools that are being built, and whether team company built in-house or they're available off the shelf, is essentially making the product manager's job easier in creating those epics, features, and stories. Or also like the value that needs to be derived, why we are doing certain features, what is the revenue impact, how long it will take to get done, what are the estimates. And if you look at the data from the prior, you get much higher confidence in when do you think that feature will be developed. So that's the process part of it. The second thing that we are seeing is even in the software development, whether it is the code being written as part of the GitHub or any the repository out there, you're seeing a lot of efficiency that comes in terms of code reviews and in replicating the code. But the other use cases that we are seeing is many of these companies need a lot of times they're migrating from one platform to another. Whether it is from one database, SQL to Oracle or Oracle to SQL, or from Angular to React. And these migrations or rewrite are very expensive.
Right.
And that's where we have seen the Gen AI is really powerful is you give certain part of the code and say, hey, can we have the subsequently written, even the mapping of the function, which is not available.
Because the logic is all inbuilt.
Exactly.
Right.
So those are the capabilities that we see, and then that's how we are seeing the more ROI and productivity gains that's happening. And then obviously when the product person is looking at the gaps in the product, competitive landscape, even the data that is there and reasoning over the data. So asking question, what is the business impact of the capabilities, or they're looking at the data to see the overall the usage metrics of a given feature. Deriving those metrics is hard, and I think product managers are really benefiting from that by because of the Gen AI being able to reason over the data, understanding the schema, asking the question, even converting the natural language thing into a query that you want to make run to the
it's art and science combining, right? It's a perfect mix.
Exactly. So we do see that. Obviously, it's still early in the cycle. There is still a lot of opportunity. We are still scratching the surface, even within our company, when we look at the developer productivity. I mean, we want more people to use it. We are not there yet. And but then there is obviously the excitement, and I feel like we'll see a huge amount of throughput and optimization in the coming months.
I think there are a lot of great opportunities, but thank you so much. I think this is great, and hearing from you another different thing. And I know, like, you have an impressive experience, and I know I have been inspired over the years. We have kept in touch, so I hope our audiences find that way. And thank you for taking that. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ekta, again, and have a wonderful weekend.
You too.